Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the November 5th, 2025 Findlay City Council meeting. My name is Grant Russell. I'm a councilman at large, but in the absence of the council president, I move over to this side as president pro tem and run our meetings, and that is the case tonight. We'll get this meeting started with a roll call.
Mr. Ballman, Mr. DeArmond,
Here.
Ms. Frischie,
Here.
Mr. Greeno,
Present.
Mr. Hellman,
Here.
Mr. Niemeyer,
Here.
Mr. Palmer,
Here.
Mr. Russell,
Here.
Ms. Warnicki,
Here.
and Mr. Wobser.
And I have heard from, we have received a text from Mr. Ballman that he got called out of town on business this morning. And Mr. Harrington also is out of town and asked that they be excused.
Make a motion to excuse? No, second that.
Motion, Mr. DeArmond, second. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Second, Mr. Hellman. All those in favor of excusing Mr. Ballman and Mr. Harrington, please say aye.
Aye.
And they are excused. With that, please arise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Yeah. And for a point of clarification, on the roll call, we'll do one more roll call.
Mr. Ballman,
No, just the one who just showed up.
Mr. Wobser.
Here, present.
Thank you. Welcome, Jeff. First up, acceptance to our October 21st regular session of City Council meeting minutes. Mr. Palmer moved to accept. Second, Mr. Greeno. Discussion. All those in favor of accepting the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
The minutes are accepted. Mr. DeArmond, do we have an add-on to the, or a replacement or removal from the agenda?
We do have one add-on resolution 028-2025, a resolution amending community reinvestment area number 1. And I'll offer that in a form of a motion.
And a second, Mr. Palmer. All in favor of amending or replacement on the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And it is, the agenda is been updated. And we'll move on to proclamations. Mayor Mern.
So whereas the residents of Findlay and Hancock County hold great admiration and the utmost gratitude for all men and women who have selflessly served our country and this community in the armed forces. And whereas the contributions and sacrifices of those who served in the military should be honored appropriately, especially as they transition back to civilian life. And whereas it is essential that we show support for veterans by recognizing the challenges they face and ensuring they have access to the resources they need to succeed in our communities. And whereas the National Association of Counties and the National Association of County Veteran Service Officers are once again promoting Operation Greenlight for veterans, encouraging all counties across the nation to shine a green light in support of veterans from November 4th through November 11th, 2025. And whereas by participating in Operation Greenlight, Findlay and Hancock County express their profound appreciation for the sacrifices of our veterans, while also raising awareness about the vital role of county veteran service offices in helping veterans across the access the benefits they have earned. And whereas we encourage all residents and businesses in Findlay and Hancock County to participate by displaying a green light in a window of their home or office during the designated week to visibly show support and recognition for our veterans. Now, therefore, we, Christina M. Mern, Mayor of the City of Findlay, Ohio, and County Commissioners William L. Bateson, Timothy K. Bechtel, and Jeffrey Hunker, do hereby proclaim our participation in Operation Greenlight for Veterans 2025 and encourage all public buildings in Findlay and Hancock County to be illuminated in green from November 4th through November 11th, 2025. Findlay and Hancock County reaffirms their commitment to honoring and supporting all veterans and their families today and every day. So I would like to ask Commissioner Bateson to come forward as we present this joint proclamation. I would also like to point out that the downtown lights in Findlay are currently green in support of this project and bringing awareness to our veterans. And if there are any veterans in the audience this evening, if you could please just stand or raise your hand if you're unable to, please, so that you may be recognized for your service to our country. Thank you. I was going to say, any council members, you could have also stood. Yes, thank you for your service, Commissioner Bateson. And then, Nicole, do you want to make any comments or just receive the? Okay.
We have no resolutions of recognition or retirement, so on to petitions.
Status of the County Road 220, County Road 90, also known as Sheets, also known as CSP Investments Incorporated annexation for 21.724 acres in Allen Township. It has paperwork from the County Commissioner's Office has been received and will be in the City Clerk's office for the required 60 days until December 23rd, 2025. The status of the Brandonberry Western Avenue annexation for 0.970 acres currently in Liberty Township. The documents from the County Commissioner's Office have been received and will be in the City Clerk's office for the required 60 days ending December 23rd, 2025. And the status of the County Road 236-212 intersection annexation for 15.206 acres in Cass and Marion Townships. The County Commissioners denied this annexation and is on hold for the appeal process.
So I do have a question for the mayor or the law director. What is the next steps in this last annexation process?
Well, we have 30 days in which to file a notice of appeal, and it sounds like that's going to be the plan to do so in order to keep that project in the, I guess, the eyes of the city. So that's what's going to happen next will be the appeal process.
All right. Thank you.
Grant, can I ask a question?
Ms. Frishy.
On these two petitions, since it's the 23rd of December, is that causing an issue because there's no more council meetings to do the final? No? Okay.
These items we've already done all of our process. These were then just kind of updating our records from them. Yep, so I think everything on our side is already complete.
On to oral communications of a general non-ordinate or related point. We have one Matthias LaGuire wishing to speak about zoning ordinances. Mr. LaGuire, the floor is yours. You have 4 minutes.
Good evening. Yeah, I understand you guys are looking to put in more zoning restrictions. I'm totally against that. I think instead you should rescind the zone. The last thing you should do before you guys leave is rescind the zoning ordinances that you created that cause so much problems with citizens, where citizens use that as a weapon against other citizens. You know, if you got a problem with a neighbor, and you can send out the zoning police, and you know they don't need a warrant. Apparently, they just come on your property, look for violations. You know, like it's really bad. I guess the more of these restrictions you guys create, the more people that will show up at your council meetings. And if you could see, well, you can't on these cameras probably, but it's standing room only. There's like 10 people standing. There's people out in the hallway. That's because you guys are restricting us. It's restrictions. That's why people are here. But the more you restrict us, the bigger the rebellion gets, the more it grows. You know, if you keep on doing whatever the emperor wants, eventually people are going to stand up and say, enough is enough. Stop taking away my rights. You know, I'm an American. This is the United States of America. Your job is not to zone us away, to get rid of us. This isn't your personal HOA. If you want to live in a community with an HOA, move to one of those. You probably live there, right? So don't try and force your HOA laws on the whole city. Don't try and make it unlawful just to exist and loiter. You know, you guys, the more you do that, the more people are going to show up here and say, stop. You got a couple of people complaining about their neighbors, and so you guys make laws? You make laws to restrict those people because of a couple of complainers. So what's next? Farm animals? Or a rooster making a noise? What about the geese at the park? Are you gonna, you know, that's public park. Are you guys gonna go there and start shutting up every goose that makes a sound? Because they're gonna interrupt people who wanna go to the park and don't wanna hear geese, right? So you get to the point where you got to arrest the people who go there, right? If they loiter in the park too long.
Hold on a second. This is Mr. LaGuire's time to speak, and so please give him the respect to. Sir, this is the last opportunity. Please give him the opportunity to speak. If you want to address council, we have a public input process which Mr. LaGuire is exercising right now. Thank you.
So I think that what you have here are people coming out opposed to your restrictive legislation. And instead of creating more, you should look back over all this you guys have created over the last several, like a decade for like you and you, right? You guys have been here. You guys have been doing this for a long time. So you should look over all these and see, hey, do we have lawsuits? Are people suing us because we have created laws that are restricting their rights? Are they suing us? Is that happening? You should rescind those, right? Wouldn't that make more sense? Instead of hurting people because you want to quiet some complainers? Why is a complainer's right more important than my right to offend them on my property? I should have their right to be offensive on my own property. A complainer, they don't like it. Don't look at my property. Look away. You don't have, no one's forcing you to look at my property. No one's forcing you to look at a property that you deem an eyesore. You don't even take care of the public property that you are the stewards of, not to the level that you require of the citizens. It's really embarrassing. I don't know if you guys go out and check the publicly owned property that you should be stewarding, but you're failing, and then you're restricting us. That's just wrong. And you should go back and you should rescind all those ordinances before you leave. You're a lame duck council and you want to create even more restrictions on us before you leave? What is that? Just following orders? Just a bunch of puppets? I, right? No discussion, just whatever they want.
Thank you, Mr. LaGuire. Questions? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Written communications.
An email from Kathy Wingant regarding loitering bill 2025-134.
Questions or comments? Letter be filed. No, I've got it taken care of.
An email from Abby Colon regarding loitering ordinance.
Questions or comments? Letter be filed.
Oh, Mr. Niemeyer.
Mr. Niemeyer?
I was curious, is there any way you can make an announcement and people could come in that are in the hall and stand around? I'm not sure how many are out there.
I don't know if that creates a fire hazard problem.
Questions or comments on the letter? Letter be filed. Moving on to reports of municipal officers and municipal departments. You will speak when your ordinance comes up. Yeah, didn't forget you. Thank you. Reports of municipal officers and municipal departments.
A letter from Chief of Police Matthias regarding funds to Findlay Police Department from the Ohio Attorney General.
Questions or comments? Letter be filed.
City Planning Commission agenda of November 13th, 2025.
Questions or comments? agenda be filed.
Letter from City Engineer Calb regarding FDY Rehabilitate Runway 18 to 36 Lighting Design, FAA, and ODOT Aviation Grant applications.
Questions or comments? Letter be filed.
A letter from City Engineer Calb regarding FDY Rehabilitate Runway 18-36 Lighting Construction, FAA, and ODOT Aviation Grant applications.
Questions or comments? Letter be filed.
A letter from City Engineer Calb regarding South Main Street Sanitary Sewer, project number 356-51300.
Questions or comments? Jeremy, I noticed that there was this one had a specific time limit, and could you just really quick speak to that?
Yeah, so working with the Blanchard Valley Hospital, and because this is going to affect our emergency room, we worked out with them the best that would fit, so that way we can get pavement back to, so that way we can get them operational is November 17th. So that's why this project didn't go out to bid. It was under the threshold. We went to local contractors, and at that time we told them, hey, this is a high priority. Once you get it, you got to move. You got to get everything done in that time. So there is a time limit on that, just because working with the hospital, and that is the ER entrance.
Other questions or comments? Letter be filed.
Letter from City Auditor Stachak regarding revolving loan fund administration for July 2023 through September 2025.
Questions or comments? Letter be filed.
Letter from Mayor Mern regarding Hostetler property at 428 West Main Cross Street.
Ms. Frishy?
I make a motion to have this letter read into the minutes, please.
Second, Mr. Palmer. All those in favor of having this letter read into the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Nay. And the letter will be read.
Do we have to sound like 3 nays, but that's okay.
Show of hands on the nays, please. So we have 6-3. Letter will be read.
Included in your packet is a request to enter into a sale agreement with the Blanchard Valley Port Authority. This legislation allows the City of Findlay to sell property without going out to public bid in situations where we believe there is a specific buyer which provides the best use for the property. In this instance, Dietz's Brothers Chocolate and Ice Creams has approached the city with interest in buying the property for expansion. By purchasing this property, it will allow Dietz's to expand their nearly 70-year-old facility in downtown Findlay, keeping this historic landmark and key community pillar at this location and allowing them the ability to expand their business operations. I have been working with them over the past year to determine the right timing and purchase details to support this great project. The negotiated agreement covers the cost of the City of Findlay. The cost the City of Findlay has invested, provides a fair market purchase price based upon appraisal, and covers costs for necessary site work which the city had previously planned. Therefore, I am requesting your support with this transaction so that the deal may formally be voted on by the Blanchard Valley Port Authority this year, and Dietz's may begin planning for construction at the earliest opportunity. Thank you for your consideration of this opportunity. Please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions.
Ms. Frishy?
Mayor, question, what is the site work that you are referencing that we're going to be doing, and what is the cost?
Yes, we had talked about having the city departments tear down the building because we're able to do that efficiently. I believe the total cost was estimated at $10,000 or $12,000. That would be our labor cost.
Why would we
Ms. Frishy?
want to tear it down? That's a sound structure.
Because that's not consistent with their expansion plans.
Other questions or comments? Mr. Stasiak?
Just for the record, because it's not noted here, with the port being involved or the alliance with their relationship and overview over the port or oversight over the port, is there any costs or markups affiliated with this that either of those organizations are going to get?
No. So first of all, to clarify, Councilwoman Frishy, the $12,000 estimated cost is added into their purchase price. So Dietz's is covering the cost of that. Second of all, related to markups, no, the Alliance does not get any additional markup. They receive their administrative fee as they do on all projects. All of the additional closing costs, et cetera, are included in the project deal and are outlined in the purchase agreement.
Letter be filed.
Can,
Oh, sorry.
sorry, one more.
Yeah, please.
I have a real problem with this. You know, you have been working with Dietz's for over a year, but I know that other businesses and entities have come to the city also interested in this parcel. And I know what we went through in 2018, where then Mayor Mahalik did tear down one structure, which I'm not even quite sure where those tanks went that were, I believe, removed. But here nor there, this site is a prime commercial site, totally support Dietz's, but is this going to be warehousing, or how many jobs is it going to create? How do we justify this to the public? And that's where I'm struggling, because we have an obligation to do auction for government property, and I don't see a legitimate reason to bypass the process that the public is supposed to have. So can you answer any of that?
Yeah, so first of all, as you may recall, about a year and a half ago, I did discuss this briefly with council in an executive session, which is a permitted discussion. And so I continued the conversations from that point. Second of all, the Port Authority is a pseudo-governmental entity which is created for this very purpose.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Being able to identify a process, because if we put it up just for straight public auction, somebody else could come in and buy it and then hold Dietz's hostage for being able to expand their business. Instead, the Port Authority allows us to determine what is the best use for this property. Yes, if we're simply wanting to make a buck off of a sale and relinquish a level of control, then we can just put it up for auction. However, being able to identify that a good use for this is an existing company. I don't know the specific number of jobs that they are planning to add with this. It is primarily so that they can expand their dining space.
Mayor, hold on a second. I'd ask once again for the folks in the audience to keep your comments to yourself. We have a public input process that is being well used tonight, but this now is an opportunity for your representatives to have our discussions, and so your comments they're heard and they're disturbing to hear as we're trying to understand what folks are saying up here. So I appreciate your consideration. Thank you, Mayor.
Yep. So being able to expand their production space and have better parking and a level of, I understand they're wanting to kind of improve the overall atmosphere to be able to potentially have some outdoor space as well for users. So again, yes, if we're simply just wanting to make a bunch of money off of it, then we could put it up for auction. However, in this instant, it allows us to say that this is a local user who otherwise, if they're not able to expand, may have to relocate. And lost my train of thought. Additionally, we are getting a fair market value, and the other folks that have reached out to us over the last couple of years have been a car dealership, a gym, and a pallet wholesale company. Those are not great uses of that parcel. It is a gateway entrance to our community. If you don't want to support it, that's your prerogative. This is the proposal that I brought forward to the legislative body.
Ms. Frischie.
So the Port Authority has a role in certain things, but it's not to control our community. And I will say, I know over the last couple years, a government entity came that was interested in relocating that government entity into that area, and they were denied consideration. And I think it's, again, Dietz's has a great location. They have the parking. Everybody wants to expand, but we can't just say it's for them. It is a prime location coming into the city. And everything that you gave for an example and the reason to use the Port Authority is an inappropriate use of the Port Authority. If it would have been an appropriate use, in my opinion, had a government entity other than the city been interested in it to work together to use the Port Authority for that, but not for private business. Thank you.
Other discussion? Letter be filed.
Traffic Commission minutes of October 20th, 2025.
Questions or comments? Minutes be filed.
Letter from Service Safety Director Martin regarding the sale of 401 North Main Street property.
Questions or comments? Letter be filed. Committee reports.
The Finance Committee, to whom was referred a request to discuss the Community Foundation Agreement. We recommend approval of the Community Foundation Agreement as presented by the mayor, along with a $10,000 appropriation from the project fund as seed money for the account.
Mr. Wobser?
Make a motion to approve the committee report.
Second, Mr. DeArmond. Question or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the committee report,
Voice. Or
all those in favor of acceptance of the committee report, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The committee report is accepted. On to legislation, and I had previously stated when talking about resolution 028-2025, it was a replacement. My bad. This is added to the agenda and now gets its first reading.
First reading for Resolution 20, add-on Resolution 28, 2025. A resolution amending Community Reinvestment Area Number 1 as enacted pursuant to Resolution Number 33, 1987, and as previously amended by Resolution 37-1988 and Resolution 47-2013.
And this resolution does require 3 readings. On to ordinances.
Third reading for ordinance number 2025-124, an ordinance authorizing the mayor, service safety director, and/or city engineer of the city of Findlay, Ohio, to enter into agreements with Rocky Edge Excavating for the West Park Sanitary Sewer Tap and Sewer, project number 356-42500, appropriating and transferring funds thereto and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Greeno.
Yeah, I move for adoption of ordinance number 2025-124.
Second, Mr. Hellman. Discussion. Seeing as though there is none, all those in favor of ordinance 2025-124, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
Mr. Greeno?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
And Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
The ordinance is adopted.
Third reading for ordinance number 2025-125, an ordinance appropriating and transferring funds and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Hellman.
Move for approval of ordinance 2025-125.
Second, Mr. DeArmond. Discussion. Seeing that there is none, all those in favor of adoption of ordinance 2025-125, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
Mr. Greeno?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Mr. Ballman? Or Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
The ordinance is adopted.
Third reading for ordinance number 2025-129, an ordinance establishing job classifications, pay ranges, salary schedules, and other matters that may affect pay for all non-elected officers and employees of the city of Findlay, Ohio, and repealing ordinance number 2024-134 as amended, and all other ordinances and/or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Greeno.
Move for adoption of ordinance number 2025-129.
Second, Mr. DeArmond. Discussion. Seeing that there's none, all those in favor of adoption of ordinance 2025-129, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Greeno?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Mr. Yarmont?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
The ordinance is adopted.
Third reading for ordinance number 20. It should be at the very end. Sorry. Third reading for ordinance number 2025-130. An ordinance enacting new chapter 1161 of the codified ordinances of the city of Findlay, Ohio, entitled Donation Bin Zoning Ordinance for the city of Findlay, Ohio.
Make a motion to adopt ordinance number 2025-130.
Second, Mr. Wolf. Second, Mr. Wobser. Discussion. All those in favor of adoption of ordinance 2025-130, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Hellman. Mr. Niemeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Palmer.
Aye.
Mr. Russell.
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki.
Aye.
Mr. Wobser.
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond.
Aye.
Ms. Frishy.
Aye.
Mr. Greeno.
Aye.
The ordinance is adopted.
Third reading for ordinance number 2025-131.
Yeah, 131.
Stick to it.
Did it?
An ordinance enacting new chapter 1329 of the codified ordinances of the city of Findlay, Ohio, entitled Time Limits for Construction Activity for the city of Findlay, Ohio.
Mr. Hellman.
Move for to approve ordinance 2025-131.
Second, Mr. DeArmond. Discussion. Ms. Frishy.
So I'll be a no on this ordinance because I feel it's overstepping when we have residents that come to get their permits with full intention to follow process. It's not our job to tell them that they have to hurry it up or else. So I will be a no.
Other discussion. Mr. Wobser.
You know, I guess Holly brings up an interesting point. This kind of goes back to one of the things that we're talking about on other legislation that we've talked about on the similar ways. We seem to find ways of punishing the people that are doing things right and not the folks that are doing things wrong. I guess I'm conflicted with this. I see the problem that we're dealing with and would like to approve it, but at the same time, I'm not so sure this is the right way to go about it.
Other discussion. Mayor Mern.
Do you have an idea on a different way to handle
Well, actually, I was
it?
going to ask Holly if she had that, since she was the first one to speak up. Holly, have you thought on something else better to take care of the problem?
Well, I mean, as I'm assuming you're looking at, Jeff, is the whole reason this ordinance came about is because of the beautiful property next to the Courier. But had they followed the process with permitting and had we done our job then, we wouldn't be looking at that piece of art at this point. So you can't put all the blame on the citizen. There's some blame there on the city side, but to put this ordinance in, and I can't remember, is this going to be typically ordinances are going forward, but I think this one, at least there was discussion committee-wise, I thought that this was going to retroactive. Is that still the case? Anybody from committee clarify that?
This
Finer.
is effective going forward.
So you're still not, so putting this in place, we're not going to still be able to address that property. So why, Mayor, here's the question, Mayor. Tell me what complaints we've had, or give me a specific example of why we should justify this ordinance.
Mayor Mern.
Yeah, so this has come up, that is one example, but there are a number of properties throughout town that, you know, maybe have half their siding on it and we don't have any way to enforce, hey, you need to maintain your property. It impacts the overall neighborhood. And so you're right. People that are doing it right, they're not going to have a problem with this process because they're doing it regardless. But right now, we have no ability to say, hey, you got to keep things moving. And I know you've brought up the hardship in the past. If suddenly a family member falls ill, we work with people all the time to do that. All they have to do is show that they are making progress in a reasonable time frame. So it is, yes, we should have had this in place a long time ago to avoid those types of issues, but we don't. We're recognizing it. Now we can help make sure that our community is well maintained moving forward.
Mr. Wobser.
Mayor, thanks for those comments. So we're only looking at things going forward, correct? Also, what would be the proposed penalty on this then?
Guys, this is a third reading. I forget.
I apologize too, and I don't have it in front of me to be able to look at
Matt,
it.
do you recall specifically? I think it's similar to all of our other zoning issues. It's you get a notification, you have a period to comply, you have to note that you're making progress. If there's an extenuating circumstance, they communicate that to us. If it becomes egregious that they're not making any progress on it, then we could file, I think it's typically a minor misdemeanor, and then the court determines if they have to force compliance or if someone pays a fine.
Matt, does that sound
Mr. Cordonier,
correct?
excuse me, Mr. Cordonier, you want to weigh in on this?
It's within the zoning code, so it's subject to 1199 penalties of the zoning code. And further explanation would probably be best by the law director. Sorry, Rob.
Well, I don't have that section memorized, but there is a penalty section for it. It can be a day-to-day violation. It's a monetary violation, and it allows room for the court to order some sort of solution to the problem.
Ms. Frischie?
So Mayor, first I'm going to say, it's like you think you're everybody's mom, or the city thinks you're everybody's mom, and we get to say, hey, clean your room or else type thing. Now, be quiet, everybody. So besides that, I'm going to be personal for you. When I was 24 years old, bought my first house, thought we were going to flip it. My husband and I did all the work. If you would have told me that I had to replace my windows, put my siding on, and do all this in the time manner that you wanted, I couldn't afford that. And it's not your job to tell me. And I had wonderful neighbors, I still do, that they would cheer us on, they would come over and help, they'd bring some cookies, right? But we were doing the work. But when something happens that you can't do the work, that somebody gets injured, they hurt, there's life comes into play, the city should not be dictating when somebody is doing what they're supposed to do. They're following the processes for whatever they need to do better and improve the neighborhood and the property. And if nitpicking down to siding is ridiculous.
Mr. Cordonier?
So the scenario that you gave would not be subject to this ordinance.
But no, she just said siding. If your siding's not on the house, we're going to call the NEAT police and we're going to say, your siding's not on there, Matt.
So this is only for projects that require a permit. We do not.
Well, we don't require a permit. The mayor. So maybe the mayor's
So I'm just saying that the
confused.
example that you gave does not fall under this circumstance. It's only for projects that require permits. Putting a roof on your house, re-siding your house, painting your house, all those things are not subject to any permitting within the city of Findlay.
So the mayor has confusion on what the ordinance is as well then. Because it wasn't my example, Matt. But what I'm saying, it's not our job. If you need a permit for a setback to do an addition and all of those things. But still, if something happens, somebody has termites and they can't finish right away because their bucket of money is empty, it's empty.
So when asked to put this ordinance together, first I would recognize that the majority of all cities have some length of construction. Second of all, let's say Target starts construction, they're halfway done. For whatever reason, there's an argument between the developer and Target. We want to have some teeth to go after them. The purpose of this is not to go after a homeowner who has a gutter or an issue like that. This is construction that requires a permit. Ideally, it's in place for larger projects that for whatever reason have fallen through and have not been completed. The expansion on by the Courier, that went to Planning Commission because it's a multifamily family expansion, so it was a conditional use. It went to City Planning Commission, but residential projects like apartments would be subject to it, but not single-family homes. So just clarifying.
So my question to you is, would this ordinance allow to be pick and choose to use and how we enforce it? Meaning, you talked commercial, that we want to have teeth to make sure they finish something. Well, that's a given. I mean, we have the site plans, we go through all of that. But when we're talking with residential, you're saying that this will not allow people to pick and choose enforcement, meaning, you know, Dennis over here is doing an addition and he got the framing up, but not till next year did he side it and put the windows in. If I want to complain, I can say, hey, or we're gonna say, hey, extend them grace.
So this
The weather change.
This only applies to projects that require permits.
Well, that's what an addition would require.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the law director, Rob, I hate to borrow some of your words, but if a resident has a 200 square foot expansion on their home and they did not complete it in 12 months because they have a broken leg, even if the city pressed charges, a judge would laugh at us and we'd have to walk out the building. That's not the purpose of this. The city does have discretion. The law director does not have to bring every case. And I think Target being half completed for 2 years versus a homeowner who broke their leg and can't finish an addition are two separate items. And I think we're smart enough to delineate between the two.
1 second. I've asked nicely to keep the comments quiet, and if necessary, we can ask you to be removed from the meeting, and we don't want that. Let our legislators, let your council do its job without your continued commentary. Would be appreciated, and if not, we'll ask you to leave. This is Mayor Mern.
Councilwoman Frischie, you're right. My siding example was not the best example because I'm thinking of when somebody is doing an expansion and then they stop part of the way through the project. As Matt stated, it's for permitted items. As he also stated, we enforce at a level of what we see, what people have either reported to us or what we drive past and notice. So yes, if somebody is in a cul-de-sac and it's just their house and nobody drives past it and sees it, then yes, they could potentially get away with having it sit there. However, the majority of things that we're trying to catch and be able to help the total neighborhoods, that's what we do. And then we have to be able to meet the legal standards for to address it.
Mr. Stasiak.
Thank you. I have a very limited comment as your fiscal officer, but I've heard a couple things that concern me here because liability is my concern. I'm a little bit confused because we don't have the people here who do the day-to-day enforcement. The zoning people are not here. I don't even know what impact comments they had on this, and that's what their job is, to go out and be the people doing it. How do we have, without them and an official statement from the law director, knowledge that this is going to be enforced evenly and fairly, and this discretion you're talking about now, the discretion that somebody breaks their legs gets a break, but this other person with it, they have MS, maybe they have an emotional breakdown, they don't get a break. Who's going to decide that? When you start talking about enforcing something differently across the board, as your fiscal officer, I think you need to take a pause and explore that a little bit better, because that's why we get sued. We get sued because we treat people differently. We enforce laws differently. So I will caution you here.
The process for that input was given through the committee process. I think this specific ordinance was on the committee agenda for 2 to 3 months, I believe, and I'm not sure if it was 3, but those questions were asked. There was a lot of back and forth with those members, and then the Planning and Zoning Committee brought a recommendation for adoption to the council. This is the first I have heard any council member reach out with any concerns about this ordinance. Mr. Niemeyer.
I know it's a third reading. I was on that committee. I think I'd like to get this tabled. We'll take it back to committee, go through it with a fine-tooth comb, because there's situation, the one on West Sandusky's been there probably 8 years. And there's different things. I've seen things happen. Curb cuts without city permits, fences without city permits, building additions without city permits. So us 3-4 committee members are here. We could take a vote and say, let's get it back to the committee.
We have a motion to table. Ms. Frishy, is that a second?
Yes.
Please.
It sounds like Mr. Niemeyer's motion is one to postpone to a certain time. Oh, no. Is to postpone to a certain time, and that can be done by a majority vote. I don't want to use the word table.
Okay. So we have a motion to postpone to a certain time and a second. All those in favor of the motion to postpone to a certain time, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Niemeyer,
Aye.
Mr. Palmer,
Nay.
Mr. Russell,
Nay.
Ms. Warnicki,
Nay.
Mr. Wobser,
Nay.
Mr. DeArmond,
Nay.
Ms. Frishy,
Aye.
Mr. Greeno,
Aye.
Mr. Hellman.
Nay.
The motion to postpone fails. Ms. Frishy?
To be clear, you said this is the first time you've heard any objection. I've been objecting to this ordinance since the beginning, so there has been objection.
Other discussion? With that, thank you, Mr. Cordonier. All those in favor of adoption of ordinance 2025-131, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Palmer,
Aye.
Mr. Russell,
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki,
Aye.
Mr. Wobser,
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond,
Aye.
Ms. Frishy,
Nay.
Mr. Greeno,
Nay.
Mr. Hellman.
Aye.
2 nay.
And I'll vote nay.
I'm sorry, Mr. Niemeyer.
The ordinance is adopted.
Third reading for ordinance number 2025-132, an ordinance amending section 1135.02 entitled Permitted Use, Certificate Required, section 1135.03 entitled Conditional Use, section 1141.02 entitled Permitted Use, Certificate Required, section 1141.03 entitled Conditional Uses, section 1174 entitled Definitions of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Findlay, Ohio, entitled Conditional Uses, thus repealing ordinance number 2023-115 and all other ordinances and or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith.
Mr. DeArmond.
Make a motion to adopt 2025-132.
Second, Mr. Hellman. Discussion. Seeing that there is none, all those in favor of adoption of ordinance 2025-132, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Russell,
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki,
Aye.
Mr. Wobser,
Aye.
Mr. Ballman, or Mr. DeArmond,
Aye.
Ms. Frishy,
Aye.
Mr. Greeno,
Aye.
Mr. Hellman,
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer,
Aye.
Mr. Palmer.
Aye.
The ordinance has been adopted.
Third reading for ordinance number 2025-133. An ordinance regulating animal noise and repealing Findlay Municipal Code Section 505.09.
And we have public comment on this ordinance. Lisa Miller residing in Ward, I believe, 7. Lisa, you have 4 minutes.
So I'm not going to entertain your questions because you won't entertain mine. That's not democratic. That's not American. I'm a local attorney. I've been an attorney for 22 or 3 years in this city, and I urge anyone sided with this ordinance to call my office immediately, because there's a thing called unconstitutional as applied, okay? A noise is a noise. We don't have to carve out animal noises. That's absurd, okay? The way this statute is written, it would affect the FedEx driver in my driveway. Like it says anyone near, not a property owner, it says anyone near. It could be the guy bicycling down the street. That's absurd, okay? I've done a little experiment in my yard with my rooster. There are at least 20 houses that could probably hear my rooster, okay? If the lady next door complains, she's not an ordinary reasonable person because the other 24 didn't complain. That's gonna be my defense, okay? So I don't understand what governmental interest this is serving. It seems clear to all of us that there is not a governmental interest. There is some private interest here. I don't understand. A noise is a noise. Why do we have to have an animal noise? I don't get it. But the fact that, like, just anybody near my house can complain is absurd. It needs to be a property owner, just like every other complaint or any other thing I want to do. I have to address the property owners adjacent to me. They would have the rights. That I would agree with. Anybody who can hear my rooster, that's absurd. Thank you.
Discussion. Ms. Frishy.
I don't know if this is a Rob or Mayor question. How many animal noise issues do we have that we're addressing, or because we're improving this ordinance? So how many complaints? How many times are we sending officers somewhere? Where are we at with this?
Mayor Martin.
I don't know a specific number of complaints. Again, this is to set proper standards in our community moving forward. We have had issues, but I don't know a specific number because typically we go out and just have a conversation with the property owners.
Mr. Feiner.
That's correct. I mean, I suppose we could talk with the police department to see what sort of reports they have on animal noises. I know standing around the front office of the mayor's office, phone calls have come in, but we don't track them at the mayor's office, but I would imagine the police department does.
What's the difference in the change? Because don't we currently have a dog noise and dog poop ordinance?
There was the 50509 was just catered towards dogs, so it's changed to take all animals into account. Since people have an interest in keeping all sorts of animals in the city, it would just address all animals.
It is my understanding that this ordinance came because during the first discussion in council of the barnyard animal ordinance, citizens made the comments, why do we treat barnyard animals different from dogs? And I know when I was hearing that and in discussion with other council reps, there was a nodding and agreement. Why do we have a carve out specifically for one animal versus another? And so in response to that, this legislation is on our agenda. That's my understanding. Mr. DeArmond.
Councilwoman Frishy, to answer your question, so when this came up during committee, Eric responded that he gets 3 complaints a week
Of what?
of animal noises. Animal noises. That was his response when we asked him that during committee.
Ms. Frishy.
So I vaguely remember what Grant is saying when we were talking about the chicken ordinances when it started. I think Jeff and I both kind of said strengthen the ordinances that we have, which made sense, right? Like where we can increase and strengthen, and let's do that. But I come back to the question about this ordinance that we've had forever. Has it ever been used and has it been enforced? Because I think it's a nonsense ordinance, and I would question or ask, had I been in that committee, Dan, I would have asked Eric, was he responding simply to an animal noise or an animal smell and an animal noise or too many dogs on a property, killing animal, whatever. I mean, was there more to it? But that's why I'm curious to know, have we ever used the current ordinance? And I think it's nonsense. I think it's nonsense if our citizens are calling the police department because a dog is barking too much or a chicken is clucking or whatever it is. Our officers have more important things to do than this.
Mr. Feiner.
Yeah. Well, as the officers, I mean, if there's a call from a citizen with a complaint, the officers are going to respond no matter what the issue
understand.
is. When the ordinance was just involving dogs, over my years prosecuting, we had a host of cases that we charged, and some went to trial, and some people had recordings on their cell phone, or they had recordings from some audible system at their house, or whatever it may be. Sometimes the officers would stand there and say, I stood there for 20 minutes and the dog never stopped barking. And so, yeah, I mean, we addressed those, but that only addressed dogs. So when the issue came up that it should address any sort of animal noise that's out of control, that's why this came about.
Other discussion? Seeing that there is none, all those in favor of adoption of ordinance 2025-133, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Wopser?
Nay.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Nay.
Mr. Greeno?
Nay.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Nay.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
4 nay.
The ordinance is adopted.
Second reading for ordinance number 2025-134, an ordinance enacting regulations on unlawful congregation.
And we have public comments on this. First up, Robbie Leatherman.
Good evening.
Thank you, Robbie. You have 4 minutes.
Good evening. I'm here tonight to highlight.
Robbie, hey, bring that mic up.
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Thank you.
I'm here tonight to highlight our city's latest contribution to modern philosophy, the existential loitering ordinance. This is the one that says you can't linger without any apparent purpose. Right. Without any apparent purpose is not a legal standard, guys. It's a vibe. And vibes are not law. We pick playlists by vibe, not to find misdemeanors. The Supreme Court has actually ruled on laws like this multiple times already. 3 stand out in particular. The first one in 1972. Does that year sound familiar to you guys? It should. Mr. Fiener's letter specifically cited laws written in that era. That would be Papa Christou versus Jacksonville. An almost identical vagrancy law was rejected as unconstitutionally vague. It gave police unfettered discretion. Basically, hey, you look suspicious, you're coming with us. The second was Colander versus Lawson in '83. This one allowed officers to detain anyone who couldn't satisfactorily account for themselves. Supreme Court struck that one down too. The third is City of Chicago versus Morales, and that one was in 1999. That was an anti-gang loitering law. Court struck that down too. Turns out you can't make it illegal to stand around just because you don't like who's standing there. So here we are in 2025, thinking we'll get it right this time. But what have we actually got here? We have a law that is vague enough to be unconstitutional and yet specific enough to get us sued. So when somebody challenges this, it'll become a 42 USC civil rights case. We will lose, and we will pay the plaintiff's attorney fees and damages. That's with taxpayer money. That's our money funding the sequel to 3 Supreme Court defeats. I understand you guys want to keep the sidewalks clear. You want to keep people from harassing others. We have laws for that already. This one, it criminalizes thinking, waiting, or heaven forbid, existing without clear intent. That's not legislation, that's a metaphysical crisis. The only thing without apparent purpose in this city right now is this ordinance. Council, I would ask that you kill this. Stand up for the Constitution. And that'll be all.
Robbie, you sat down. Are you taking questions or not? I'll take questions. Great. Come on back up then, please. You were sitting next to a lady that wasn't, so I wasn't sure. So
Mr.
I just wanted to
Wolfser.
make
I'm
sure.
in good company over there, for sure.
Pardon me?
Mr. Wobser.
So do I, ma'am. Thank you. Robbie, thanks for your thoughtful comments, number one. Well thought out, well spoken. We have an issue. Businesses losing money potentially because of something like this. No.
Potentially
But
means
you,
it's not
no,
happening.
no.
You're
Okay.
making something
Businesses
up.
are losing money. No potential about it. You know what we're trying to address, right?
No, that's the issue.
No, that's
is-
not true. Okay, but Robbie, why else would we bring this forward if there wasn't a problem that we're trying to address? We're just doing this because we have an existential
you have the
vibe
laws
problem?
you have the laws to address this problem.
We do.
You're not
Where?
addressing the root issue of it.
What's the root issue?
Drug abuse and homelessness.
Oh, okay. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
So we have drug users
Right.
in front of a business. What do we do? Why?
Oh, did you hear that?
They're not using drugs in front. They're just strung out. He's not holding a syringe.
Public intoxication. We
You
have
sure,
laws.
Rob?
You don't.
Time out.
sure?
Time out.
Are
Jeff,
there-
Jeff and Robbie. Time out. Citizens, this is a conversation between Mr. Leatherman, who is asked to address council, and council. Please give him the respect to have this conversation with council at this time. I didn't, respect. I
I'd like to
guess that's
butt in
it's
here.
Go
You need to
right
be
ahead,
more
Robbie.
you
Thank
need
you.
to be more specific with this law. The vagary of it is what's going to get us sued,
Okay.
and like in a big way.
Okay.
I would love to be the one to get arrested for this. It's a lottery ticket. It's a lottery ticket.
Ms. Frishy.
But no, go ahead. Thanks, Robbie. Appreciate it.
Ms. Frishy.
So how do you specifically say we improve this ordinance that you would support it?
Oh, I wouldn't support it in any form like this. Loitering should not be a crime. You can't criminalize existing guys.
No, you just said, you and Jeff just had this conversation and
About people using drugs in front of
Well, you're
businesses,
saying
you don't
you-
know how to address that? Like, that has to be a joke. You're being disingenuous.
No, well, I was just asking to see, you sounded like maybe the two of you had just a glimpse of a little bit of wanting to brainstorm, so I was just asking.
And look, I'm open to laws that, this is, again,
Okay.
I'm here about this law in
Okay,
particular.
so you don't have an idea of,
Oh, yeah, I do have ideas.
okay, so how would you improve the problem with downtown businesses that Jeff said that are losing business?
Losing business to what?
Well,
because
he
I
he
posited
just-
what I thought was going
I
on.
don't
and
know.
nobody
I haven't
clarified.
heard anything about
Right.
this until the ordinance showed up, and we addressed this situation with our first ordinance with regards to parks and people sleeping in the parks and tents
Right.
and all
That's
of
when
that.
you made it illegal to sleep outside. So homelessness is illegal. I hear you.
So that ordinance was a public safety issue, but we could not address the person sitting on a park bench because it's a public park bench.
Why would you
Right.
need to address that?
Okay, he's giving you the example of what he's saying is the problem in the
and
downtown.
I'm asking you,
So,
when does
No,
sitting
Mr.
on a
Mr.
park
Leatherman,
bench
Mr. Leatherman,
become a crime?
Mr. Leatherman.
So I'm
time
saying
out.
the concern.
Ms. Frishy, Ms. Frishy, hold on a second. Ms. Frishy, ask him your question. Mr. Leatherman, please respond. Let's this is her time to
I hear you.
ask of you of questions. Thank you.
So the concern then, back then, was addressing the people sitting on the park bench with all of their belongings, maybe strung out, as Jeff said, or whatever, and people not wanting to walk into that business to go past there. But it's a public spot. We can't tell somebody they can't sit on a public bench, right?
Correct.
And so when I look at this ordinance, I think, I don't even know where it came from. So are we talking about homelessness as though what you're referencing, and they leave the city mission and they come into the downtown and they hang out under a tree or in a parking lot in the library? Are we trying to move that along? Because if we're going to move those folks along, I was telling somebody, what if there's the mom who goes and gets books at the library and decides to have a picnic under the tree at the library? Are we going to move them along?
Right.
Probably not. So the ordinance is not fair. So that comes down to the question, Rob, with what he said and what
No,
he.
Ms. Frishy, we're not having discussion here. This is public comment time. So, thank you. Mr. Leatherman, thank you very much for your comments. Next up is Chris, and I'm going to butcher your name. Is it? Hi, Chris.
What was his name?
Come on up. Thank you.
I have written letter of communication for you guys, and if you put it here for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So good evening. Make sure I talk in front of this thing so everybody can hear me. It is a interesting night. Thank you guys so much for letting me speak. My name is Chris Chilcote. I am here representing Findlay for All. We put this together as essentially to go against this proposal of this ordinance for loitering. And I wanted to read this letter to you guys as I prepared to just go ahead and speak this, and I'll take some questions. So thank you guys so much. First, I'd like to thank you guys for the opportunity to speak today. I want to begin by saying this. I love this community. I built a life here. I'm raising a family here. And like so many others, I want Findlay to continue to be a place where people look out for one another, where fairness and compassion and common sense guide our decisions. That's why I'm here tonight, because the proposed loitering ordinance threatens something much larger than it may seem on paper. It challenges one of the simplest, most fundamental rights we share, our shared rights to simply exist in public spaces. Our sidewalks, our parks, downtown areas are not just places we pass through, they're the heartbeat of our city. The places where we talk with neighbors, share a coffee, rest for a moment, or simply take in a sunny day. Those belong to all of us. This ordinance, though I believe it may be well-intentioned, raises serious concerns. First, it's constitutionally questionable. Courts across the country have struck down laws that penalize people for being in public places without cause. I know that Chicago versus Morales 1999 was already brought up. What this does is it brings, so much liability to us for what it has to be. But the right to move freely and to be present in shared spaces is one of the basic freedoms we all enjoy as Americans. Second, this proposal criminalizes people before they've done anything illegal. It targets those who are already marginalized, people who may have nowhere else to go, who might be resting or simply existing in public. Activities that are already crimes, like disorderly conduct or public intoxication, are already addressed by existing laws. This ordinance adds another layer of punishment for simply being visible. And third, it exposes the city to financial and legal risk. Similar ordinances cost municipalities significant money to defend in court. So Findlay taxpayers could end up footing the bill for lawsuits that never happened in the first place. And I don't think anybody here wants to be footing that bill. We can protect public safety without criminalizing people who are struggling or who simply don't have anywhere else to go. The answer to social challenges is not to move people out of sight. It is to bring people together with compassion and understanding. Findlay has always been at its best when we solve problems as neighbors, not when we pass laws that divide us. So tonight I ask you to take a step back. Let's slow down, listen, and look for a solution that reflects the best of who we are, a caring, generous, and fair community. Findlay should be a place for everyone. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chris. Questions? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Next up is Lisa Miller. And Lisa, you have 4 minutes.
Thank you. As others have mentioned, this is completely unconstitutional. I've known the law director for 20 years, and I've never been so ashamed of him as now. If you are sided with the statute, again, please call my office. This is absurd. Why don't you solve the problem like this gentleman is saying? If you just herd them out of downtown, you know where I hope they go? South of Little Caesars and everybody's garden shed. But where are they going to go? They're just going to go somewhere else. You have to solve the problem. Drug problem, that's law enforcement. Homelessness, that's a social issue. You don't just marginalize those people. That's not what humans do to other humans. Just so we can have a look, an aesthetic, that's disgusting. And this is so unconstitutional. It's ridiculous. And if someone does get cited and sue you, I hope I'm the first one to represent them. Thank you.
Next to speak on this issue is Joe Wagner. And Jill, you have 4 minutes.
Thank you. And I agree with some of her comments. It is a problem of homelessness and the mentally ill. But we do have a problem, and I want to nip it in the bud. And I'd like to express my support for a new city ordinance against loitering. As the chair of the Downtown Findlay Improvement District and downtown property owner of the Sherman House and many rentals on West Crawford, West Front, Southwest, and Washington Street, I would like to address the loitering in Findlay, especially on Broadway near the Movement Church parking lot, across the street beside the library on West Front, and beside the Corey Street Bridge. Imagine standing at your kitchen window and seeing one or several people across the street all day long with no purpose. Imagine being a parent whose child's going to be a student at University of Findlay and you're searching for an apartment, but you see homeless people hanging around the area. Imagine that you have just been hired to work in Findlay, and through research, you have been told to not live in certain areas because there are homeless people who have been known to stay all day long near the apartments. The homeless leave trash, including drug paraphernalia and beer cans, and smoke marijuana that gets into the vents and permeates the interior of the building. This summer, we have a new phenomenon of 1 to a dozen people hanging out on Broadway at any point of the day. Next to the Corey Street Bridge, there's often 1 to 4 people there every day. Besides the issues I just mentioned, people have been driving up to the groups, which looks like possible drug activity. People are not comfortable, and our businesses are being affected. There's a music school for mothers with small children who walk past the loiterers. Anyone going into the library, adults and children, see the people hanging out on the street. Several business owners have complained of the trash in the pedestrian alley and on Broadway. One business owner had to change out his flower pots because someone put a needle in one. If prospective tenants look at my apartments and see people living on the streets during the day near my rentals, they will not want to rent from me. I own the property across from the Corey Street Bridge, and I do not think it is nice for my tenants to have to witness this. Businesses can post no loitering signs. I want the city of Findlay to have a loitering policy that addresses serious, long-term situations. We should feel safe in our own town. Beggars have approached me for money. I have been chased twice by a mentally ill woman. One person got into the Sherman House one night, and I found him sleeping on our sofa in the community room. He also walked into one of my tenants' apartments on Washington Street. One day, that person walked into the back door of City Laundry when it was on East Main Cross, and he punched the manager in the head. We can press charges for trespassing or assault, but we do not know when someone will snap. Recently, I witnessed something horrific. I was walking by my building on East Front Street, and I saw a man with a dog. I was half a block away, but I saw him choking the dog, and then he punched and kicked the dog. He spoke to my tenant, a University of Findlay baseball player, and asked if my tenant would take his dumb dog. I got in my truck, and I followed the man because I could not believe what I was seeing. I watched him go to the middle of my parking lot and slam that dog down on the pavement. The dog was lifeless. As I got closer, the man screamed at me. Then he flopped that medium-sized dog over his shoulder like a big sack of potatoes, and he walked on while I called the police. It seemed to be the meeting point, but the city removed it. Now people have moved to the church wall beside their parking lot. Big cities have this problem. I want to protect our community by nipping it in the bud before it gets out of hand. The loiterers know they are empowered. They know that if they are not reported for trespassing, they can hang around as long as they want. Nothing would prevent them from hanging out on any city boulevard. There are places for these people to go, but they have refused. They need to be in a safe environment just as we all do. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Questions? Ms. Frishy.
Jill, thanks for sharing all of those details of the experiences, because I know you have a lot of rentals. Question for you. Do you support city mission?
Yes.
So supporting city mission, do you also feel that that's where these folks are coming from during the day?
I think they are, I think they leave the spots to go have a meal at City Mission. And I think they are downtown because City Mission is downtown.
So part of our problem with homelessness is it's the hub for it. Mm-hmm. So do you really think this ordinance, if it were to pass in the content that it's currently in, Do you take the personal, take your business out of it? Do you feel it's a constitutional ordinance?
I think I agree it cannot be vague.
Yeah,
So-
but so I mean, I think we're kind of on the same page that really the problem is our hub. We are a giving community. We, as Findlay, Hancock County, have always wanted to help people. And sometimes, this is my personal opinion, we help so much, we enable a problem. And the city mission has a purpose, but it also gets abused. And that abuse then comes into your street in your neighborhood. And so what we need to be doing is we need to address city mission. It's a tough, hard conversation because we are a giving community. But the more we give, you get the roll-off effect. And I think that's more what you are wanting, because I don't think you want to do an unconstitutional ordinance. And
Other-
I mean,
other-
because we kind of partially agreed. So is that kind of fair?
Other questions for Jill? Thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
And that is the end of public comment on this ordinance.
So go ahead and read it now.
No, you've already read it.
Mayor had a question.
No, Mayor, I can't give you the floor. There's not a spot on this at this time. Okay, next
Well,
ordinance.
Do we need to call for discussion, Mr. President?
That was a second reading.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't even give it yet.
Yeah, you've given the,
I think if somebody's got a motion they want to make, they can make a motion.
well, I don't see anybody raising a hand. Next ordinance. Mr. Hellman.
The mayor has raised her hand. Can we
I know,
hear-
there's not a place for discussion on this, because this is a council discussion. And we gave it its second reading, and we're now on to the next ordinance.
Can there be discussion
Excuse
later?
me.
There's not discussion on an ordinance until
You
it
do
has
it all the
its third
time.
reading.
I make a motion, let the mayor speak.
Second that.
Thank you.
There should be.
All in favor? Aye.
Mayor,
Well, come on, let her speak.
Mayor, you don't have standing
Well, you
to
only
discuss
50% of the time.
on this. We've had a second reading. There's not discussion on a ordinance until there is a third reading and a motion on that. There's been no other.
Bring brought up in old business, can it?
But there's discussion anytime it's read. Every time.
I believe there's actually a motion on the floor.
There is not a motion on the floor. It hasn't been recognized.
Well, that.
Your motion to go to committee of the whole has not been made. And nobody has made it.
We'll bring it up in old business.
It's read, there's discussion and there's public comment. We did the public comment.
We did the
There should
public
be
comment. We
discussion.
can't have it because we don't have a third reading.
I don't understand that. There's discussion.
Mr. President, we'll bring it up in old business.
The ordinance is read, there's discussion. The ordinance is read,
Okay.
there's discussion.
Discussion on the ordinance. Mayor Mern.
My apologies. I didn't mean to cause drama, but I guess that is tonight, right? I did cause some drama. So let me provide a little bit of background, because I apologize that I thought that council was better informed of the issue that we were trying to assist with, because it is very nuanced. And I think first and foremost, I appreciate all of the feedback, and the law director and I have been discussing, and we will address some of the concerns to provide more clarity to help address the concerns if council chooses to move forward however they would like. So the situation that is the primary reason that this has been brought forward. We've dealt with similar situations in the past, but the specific instance that I finally said, listen, I'm getting calls every couple of days from parents and business owners. I don't have any other options on how to address this. There is the children's music class on Broadway where there is not a bench out in front of it, and there is a group of gentlemen that are standing on the sidewalk or sitting on the sidewalk all day long for an extended period of time. At times they have smoked marijuana, and officers have gone out and said, you can't be smoking marijuana publicly. Okay, well, they smoke a cigarette. There's nothing we can do about it. It's getting into the business. They're standing by the entrance when there's not benches, and they're just hanging out there. Now listen, there are other places, and They, just like everybody else, are able to sit on benches. They're able to go enjoy parks. They can do all of that. That is not what we're trying to prevent here at all. It is folks that are, at times, it seems purposefully targeting a business and creating an unsafe and uncomfortable environment for children. You know, you wouldn't want a person standing outside of your home on the sidewalk where we legally couldn't move them along for an entire day. They don't have to be yelling at you. They don't have to be doing anything. They're not harassing. They're not using drugs. They're not trespassing, but they are loitering. And again, I understand it's a very nuanced issue. So we can provide clarity to address some of the concerns. But that is kind of why this was brought up, because I talked to the police. They said, well, we go out, we talk to them and say, hey, listen, can you guys move down the block? There's a bench, hang out there, because you're causing a problem with kids walking through. So that is where this came up from. Now, the ordinance itself, again, I think good feedback. We took this from other communities who have had it on the books for a very long time, but we understand that the language can be interpreted as vague because we don't have the specific legal definitions within it. So I think depending on council's feedback, we can send this to a committee of a whole and have further discussion to incorporate some of the recommendations. I know Mr. Fagner, legal intern, has also pulled some language that addresses, based off of the comments that we've heard tonight, the letters that we received, yes, even some of the Facebook posts, even though that's not the preferred method of communication. It's not as helpful to have to dig through comments. But we have tried to culminate that, and I think that we can get something that hopefully addresses some of the public concerns while also providing something that helps address the issue at hand.
Mr. Wobsher.
So, Mayor, is your thought process now to bring an amendment or revised ordinance to us prior to the next meeting, which would be 2 weeks? Is that the thought, or
Yes,
should we take further action at this point to wait for that process to work through?
Yeah, I think we could do that. We can go to committee, I think, or, if you guys say, no, we just don't want to do anything at all, obviously then I won't spend my time and effort doing that. But we do have some, I think, productive amendments that could be updated and then considered at the next meeting.
Mr. Finder.
So the idea of this going to a committee or the committee of the whole, which is probably the better idea, this allows more discussion on this. It allows to take into account public comment. I've got a proposed redraft that could be presented. It would mean nothing for that committee of the whole to say we're done moving forward with this proposed ordinance and make a recommendation, or to consider it when you come back to a regular council session to have it removed from the agenda. There's lots of things that you can do, and that's probably the best thing to do with the input from the community on it. There should be more discussion.
Ms. Frischi.
Mayor, you said you took it from other communities. Can you give me a couple that I can kind of do a little homework in the meantime if we're gonna take it to
Mr. Feiner.
One was, I believe, was Mansfield, and the other one was Garfield Heights.
Mr. Wobsher.
I'd make a motion that we call a committee of the whole to have this discussion, give the law director an opportunity to pull together some information for us and see if we can move forward on this. As it stands today, I'm against it. So I'd like to see if we can somehow fix this that actually solves the problem without putting us into jeopardy in other ways. So I'd make that motion.
And second, Mr. Palmer, we have a motion to send this to a committee of the whole. Discussion on the motion. I am personally not in favor of a committee of the whole. A committee of the whole cannot make a recommendation that is informational in purpose. So we would be back. We would be back here on November at our November 18th meeting in the same place. If the administration wants to present a revised version of this ordinance, we do replacement ordinances all the time. That would be an avenue, and also council can have discussions with the mayor and the law director at their leisure. But that's just my opinion. Other comments on the motion? Ms. Warnicki?
Do you have a proposed date between now and the next
We
meeting?
have, let's not go to dates.
No.
We are
Okay.
simply looking at, it's a yes or no on a committee of the whole. Seeing as though there are no more discussion on the motion to go to a committee of the whole, all those in favor of sending this to a committee of the whole meeting, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
Mr. Greeno?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Nay.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Nay.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
And we will send this to a committee of the whole meeting, and we will look to schedule that during new business. Next.
Lord have mercy.
New business.
It's a good process.
Second reading for ordinance number 2025-135, an ordinance amending section 521.02 entitled Dilapidated Structures of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Findlay, Ohio, thus repealing all ordinances and or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith.
Okay, I just asked Denise to hold on for a second as we had the crowd move around. So she just finished reading 135. And
It's the second reading. Okay.
Second reading.
Second reading for ordinance number 2025-136, an ordinance amending section 521.07 entitled Weeds of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Findlay, Ohio, thus repealing all ordinances and or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith.
Next.
Second reading for ordinance number 2025-137, an ordinance repealing existing chapter 1351 of the codified ordinances of the City of Findlay, Ohio, and enacting a new chapter of 1351 entitled Flood Damage Prevention Code to comply with current model regulations of the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and the Natural Flood Insurance Program, thus repealing all ordinances and or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith.
I gotta make a comment.
Okay.
When this ordinance came in front of planning and zoning for discussion and recommendation, we were in essence told that the ordinance is the way it's going to be. It is going to be that way it's going to be with the language as it exists. And if we want to participate in the flood programs for flood insurance, this ordinance needs passage. Therefore, it's not going to be changed between now and 2 weeks from now. Therefore, I would make a motion that council's statutory rules be suspended and this ordinance 2025-137 be given its third reading. Second, Mr. DeArmond, we have a motion and a second to suspend council statutory rules.
It doesn't have emergency language with it.
Why? We can still suspend and let it.
No, not without emergency language. Plus, it's a zoning issue.
There's no emergency language.
It's got to go 3 readings.
I withdraw my motion based on input from the law director. Mr. DeArmond, do you
I'll withdraw.
concur?
I'll
Okay,
withdraw.
thank you. Next ordinance.
Second reading for ordinance number 2025-138, an ordinance imposing a 12-month moratorium on the establishment of new vape, smoke, and hemp retailers other than conditionally approved dispensaries, providing for regulation and enforcement, and declaring an emergency. Sorry, my fingers are asleep. First reading for ordinance number 2025-141, an ordinance appropriating funds and declaring an emergency.
Ms. Frishy.
I make a motion to suspend ordinance 2025-141 and give it a second and third reading.
Suspend council statutory rules? You said suspend the ordinance, and so I want to, just to clarify.
Yeah.
Thank you. Second, Mr. DeArmond.
I do it
We have a motion to suspend
But I don't-
council statutory rules and give this ordinance
Whatever you
its
need.
second and third reading. All those in favor of the motion to suspend, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
Mr. Carino?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Council statutory rules have been suspended, and this ordinance will be given its second and third reading.
Ordinance number 2025-141, ordinance number 2025-141.
Mr. Wobser.
Make a motion to approve.
Second, Mr. Greeno. Discussion. All those in favor of ordinance 2025-141, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
Mr. Greeno?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
The ordinance is adopted.
First reading for ordinance number 2025-142, an ordinance authorizing the mayor, service safety director, and/or city engineer of the city of Findlay, Ohio, to apply for and enter into grant agreements with the Ohio Department of Transportation Aviation Division in order to receive funds to be utilized for the design phase of the runway 18-36 lighting rehabilitation project to be funded in 2026 at the city of Findlay Airport and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Palmer.
What's the deadline for the grant application? Well, for this one and the next ordinance?
So in the next two, they officially have not opened yet, but I want to stay ahead of the game because the conversations we had with the FAA, they were saying, hey, you might want to move this up because of the funding that's coming forward. So we haven't had a for sure date yet because of the federal shutdown, but I'm having these so we're ready to go because it is a competitive grant.
I make a motion that council statutory rules be suspended and ordinance 2025-142 be given its second and third reading. Second, Mr. DeArmond. We have a motion to suspend council statutory rules, give this ordinance its second and third reading. All those in favor of the motion to suspend, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Greeno?
Aye.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Palmer?
Nay.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Nay.
2 nay. 2 nay. 2 out of 9.
Oh, you're gonna have to have 8 to get suspended.
The council statutory rules are not suspended.
First reading for ordinance number 2025-143, an ordinance authorizing the mayor, service safety director, and/or city engineer of the city of Findlay, Ohio, to apply for and enter into grant agreements with the Ohio Department of Transportation Aviation Division in order to receive funds to be utilized for the construction phase of the runway 18-36 lighting rehabilitation project to be funded in 2026 at the city of Findlay Airport and declaring an emergency. First reading for ordinance number 2025-144, an ordinance appropriating and transferring funds and declaring an emergency.
Mr. DeArmond.
So this project is repairing a sewer in front of the hospital ER, so we need to get this done quickly before weather sets in. So I'd recommend we suspend our rules and give this ordinance its second and third reading.
Second, Mr. Hellman. We have a motion to suspend rules, council statutory rules, and give ordinance 2025-144 its second and third reading. All in favor of the motion to suspend, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Hellman?
Aye.
Mr. Niemeyer?
Aye.
Mr. Palmer?
Aye.
Mr. Russell?
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki?
Aye.
Mr. Wobser?
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Ms. Frishy?
Aye.
Mr. Greeno?
Aye.
Council statutory rules have been suspended, and this ordinance will get its second and third reading.
Ordinance number 2025-144, ordinance number 2025-144.
Mr. DeArmond.
Move to adopt ordinance 2025-144.
Second, Mr. Hellman. Discussion. All those in favor of adoption of ordinance 2025-144, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Mr. Niemeyer.
Aye.
Mr. Palmer.
Aye.
Mr. Russell.
Aye.
Ms. Warnicki.
Aye.
Mr. Wobser. Mr. DeArmond.
Aye.
Ms. Frishy.
Aye.
Mr. Greeno.
Aye.
Mr. Hellman.
Aye.
The ordinance is adopted.
First reading for ordinance number 2025-145, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept permanent ownership of the properties on the attached exhibits from the Hancock County Board of County Commissioners as part of the continued flood mitigation efforts and declaring an emergency. First reading for ordinance number 2025-146, an ordinance appropriating funds and declaring an emergency. First reading for ordinance number 2025-147, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Findlay, Ohio to enter into a real estate purchase agreement with the Blanchard Valley Port Authority as well as RJT Properties LLC for the sale of the city-owned real estate not needed for any municipal purpose located at 428 West Main Cross Street.
And we have public comment on this. Robin Wally from residing in Ward 5 wishes to comment. Robin, you have 4 minutes. And I'll give you those.
Before I start, did you mean to skip page 5 with the fire department transfer? You guys skipped page 5 altogether. Or was that amended? Oh, okay. Hi, sorry. Guess I'm stupid. I missed that whole thing. Robin Wally, Ward 5, President of West Park Block Watch. I'm speaking today because the letter from the mayor is disturbing. She is again asking for support to sell another city property with restrictions. Why all of a sudden is our city administration becoming overnight real estate agents? These properties have been sitting for years, and now in a 2-month period, we must dump 3 properties instantly. West Main Cross Street deal has been going on behind closed doors for over a year. To me, the word collusion comes to mind when I read such statements. Bottom line, our city is in the red, and we are arranging for an easy buyout for someone to buy versus selling off to this investment property to the highest bidder. I would just like to state, since I am one of the 40,000 plus owners of the old Hostetler property on West Main Cross Street, I object to turning it over to the Port Authority and letting Dietz's brothers buy it just because of an adjacent property and it's convenient for them. Since this has hit the news, it's apparent from conversation with others, people also showed interest in this property. Why does this administration want to limit ourselves from fairly offering it on an open market? Our city is operating in the red, and a live open auction with no restrictions other than a minimal price can generate a high price through competitive bidding and can be more profitable due to a lower platform fee. It's also better for reaching a broader audience. Same theory applies to the North Main Street Fire Department. If there's not a 100% guarantee of a museum to honor our first responders, then it's no benefit to the citizens of Findlay, Ohio. Why would we make a deal with the fire department so that it should also be auctioned off in the same manner? Carlin Avenue property, which I'm really interested about, that's still on the chopping block. When presented, nobody did the homework and nobody even considered what was best for our neighborhood as a whole. I can only imagine they're going to try the same shortcut to sell that property. Councilman Niemeyer asked for a list of properties several meetings ago. I asked him to see that list. He still hasn't received that list. I counted over 150 properties online. Why are these properties now all of a sudden so important? Councilman Frischie asked for a set down and review of all the properties and a discussion of what they were used for and which ones should be told. That has not been done either. I am sure I am not the only owner of these properties that feel this way. Our lame duck council no longer has any more of an invested interest in these properties than we, the common people. For that reason alone, should not be making these decisions. I am asking instead of rushing these important decisions through the next 3 meetings, that important decisions like this be held for our newly elected council in 2026. Our newly seated council should have a say in the direction our city should go. They are the ones who need to make the decisions, since they are the ones to be held accountable to the citizens. Our outgoing council has no reason to be accountable to us at this point. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Robin. Questions? Thank you, Robin. Next.
I already read 147, correct?
Yes, 148.
First reading for ordinance number 2025-148, An ordinance amending section 931.02 of the codified ordinances of the city of Findlay, Ohio by repealing section 931.02 and enacting amended section 931.02 of the codified ordinances of the city of Findlay, Ohio, thus repealing ordinance number 2008-87 and all ordinances and or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith. First reading for ordinance number 2025-149. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Findlay, Ohio to enter into a real estate purchase agreement with the Blanchard Valley Port Authority for the sale of city-owned real estate not needed for any municipal purpose located at 401 North Main Street. First reading for ordinance number 2025-150. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Findlay, Ohio to execute the city of Findlay downtown recreation area instrument of transfer for spend down designated fund in order to utilize funds for the downtown recreation area and declaring an emergency. First reading for ordinance number 2025-151, an ordinance repealing sections 1301.01, 13.0103A, 1301.05, 1301.07C, and 1301.09F of the Ohio Building Code of the codified ordinances of the city of Findlay, Ohio, thus repealing all ordinances and or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith.
That finishes our legislative section. Old business. Mr. Niemeyer.
I'd like to make a motion to table ordinance 2025-147 and 2025-149 for further discussion.
Jim, is that a motion to postpone
Table.
to a specified date, because we don't have, the law director is saying that we don't have motions to table. It has to be a motion to.
Just to use the proper terminology. It would be a motion to postpone to a certain time, which would postpone it till the next meeting. However, it can continue to be postponed each and every meeting until somebody gets tired of that.
Okay. So it's so Jim, is your motion to postpone to the next meeting?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table till next meeting. We've had discussion about this probably a year ago. And there were more than two of us that said, wait a minute.
We have a motion and a second. Ms. Fisher. Discussion on the motion to postpone to another day. Ms. Frishy.
The reason I supported that motion, I would like to have a committee meeting, and I would like council to review all of their parcels, determine our wants and needs. I would like to physically go visit the West Main Cross location and the fire station again, like we did back in 2018, and understand where we are with this property, because we have not ruled out on the Main Cross location. Is there a need for city offices that could use that location to help free up space in the municipal building as well? And then with the fire station location, I know we vacated that building, I don't know, 3 to 5 years ago. I'm being told that the sanitary lines are complete junk. I would like for council to see that and understand what the situation is, because I don't know how the local fire department union would be able to put bathrooms in and do things unless they're putting in some fancy porta potties in order to preserve that fire station. And I don't want the city to get into cost if we weren't willing to put the cost in for ourselves to continue to use that building. I don't want us to get into cost for the, to help.
This is a discussion on a motion to
Correct.
postpone.
So I'm asking for the
Mr.
reason.
Palmer.
Cut me off.
I don't see the point in postponing this when it has 2 more readings. We have a month to go until we'll even vote on it. I don't see the point of this whatsoever.
I don't either.
So I asked the reasoning for a committee meeting. Are we saying no to that too, Mr.
No,
Palmer?
this is a motion to postpone the ordinance to a future date. All those in favor of postponing this motion to a future date, please say aye after your name is called. Those opposed, nay.
Gotta see where I'm at. Mr. Palmer,
Nay.
Mr. Russell,
Nay.
Ms. Warnicki,
Nay.
Mr. Wobser,
Nay.
Mr. DeArmond,
Nay.
Ms. Frishy,
Aye.
Mr. Greeno,
Nay.
Mr. Hellman,
Nay.
Mr. Niemeyer.
Aye.
The motion fails. Other old business, Mr. Wobser.
What committee, Councilman Frishy, would you like this to be addressed by? You said committee meeting.
So in the past, it's been a committee of a whole meeting. If you have a different view, please share.
I was just interested.
I mean,
in
do you
what
think
committee?
do you think it fits? I can go to appropriations or finance committee because we're selling a property. So if you would rather it be there for a motion from committee, I would support that as a member of the committee with you.
Mr. Stasiak.
Would probably be prudent.
I was just gonna add, I've mentioned year after year in your budget book that you really do need to take a review of your properties overall from a financial perspective. And there's been a lot of comment in the building over the last 5 years. And right now, there's a big expansion going on at the third floor. There's a lot happening here. You guys really should talk about your administrative space needs conceptually at a very high level on a whole. And that's finance. That's where that should be.
Mayor Mern.
Yes, so if you guys recall and look at your budget book and your capital book, about 3 years ago, we started doing facility assessments where each department has reviewed their facilities, determined what needs they need in the next few years, as well as it included what variables may impact them needing additional space. The administration, which is in charge of operations, has reviewed and talks to our departments all the time and do not feel that either of these properties are usable space for our departments. We used traffic building for storage for a while, but it makes it more sense for it to be out being a usable, productive property. Same with the Hostetler building. We have had people talk to us. Yes, we talked to another county agency a couple years ago. We did consider that offer, and they determined it was not the right space, both for county offices as well as a federal program. So we do look regularly. If you want to look at all of our parcels, you can look it up on the county auditor's website. The majority of our buildings are fully utilized. The municipal building, the fire stations, the water treatment plant, the water pollution control, the cube, all of those, everything else is pretty much bare land. And so the facility assessment, which we provided in the capital book, does go over that we do that, and that has been presented to you guys over the last, 3 or 4 years.
I appreciate that, and that would have been a beautiful comment in committee, but I was not included in the facility assessment. And even my office grown significantly in the last 10 years, and our needs for records retention and whatnot, we were not polled by the administration. They're not very good at communicating with us a lot of times with regard to those types of things. So there is a need for us to have a conversation.
Other old business,
No.
Mr. Wobser.
I would look at, Holly, I would think
Thank you.
appropriations would be better for finance committee would be better for this, and it would only be limited to these two properties, however. Are you in agreement with that?
No, I mean, I don't. Yes and no. I
Like,
think that
that's
the
not an answer?
So I guess, you know, to go back, the mayor has her assessment. However, council has a role when looking at things. That's why we looked at it back in 18, and that's why we didn't sell the property back in 18 and continue to tear the building down. We stopped because it was a very sound structure. So yes, these two ordinances are what we need to address now. However, addressing, for instance, the main cross, there could be a need to make sense to maybe put Hancock Regional Planning or the engineering or some department moving it that way to give more room for the courts and stuff. I don't know. So I don't know how you stop the conversation. So
I understand where you're going with that, but the assessment's been done.
But the assessment council has not done their assessment.
Council hasn't done an assessment. That wouldn't be council's
Yes, it would.
review. We would review the assessment. We would not do
And we
the
would
assessment.
discuss it.
Jeff,
So-
is a desire to bring this to finance, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes, we'll call a finance committee meeting. We'll get a date set in the next couple days. It'll be next week sometime, and it will be for these two properties. Excuse me, these two properties that are under consideration only.
I just want to make sure things are kept straight here procedurally. If there's a motion, I haven't heard a motion to commit the topic of those two properties to a committee.
He made a motion. I will second his motion then if you need
You
that.
are right, Rob. I had asked a question, so I will make the motion for a finance committee meeting to address the two properties that we've been under discussion.
And we have a
Holly, it's your
second.
turn.
I seconded
Discussion
that.
on the motion. All those in favor of sending this to the finance committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
No.
Two noes. And it'll go to the finance committee. Other old business. New business. We need to schedule a committee of the whole meeting to discuss the loitering ordinance. How does Tuesday, November 11th look on folks' calendar? How does Wednesday, November 12th look on folks' calendar at 6 p.m. In council chambers for a committee of the whole?
How about the 10th?
The 10th is, there is, the Farm Animal Town Hall is scheduled here at 6 o'clock on the 10th. 11th is a holiday. The other date would be the 17th, the day before council.
Parks and Rec, unless it gets canceled.
I would obviously prefer it be the 12th, just so that we can take feedback and incorporate it as appropriate to be ready for the council packet.
But we're only on second reading for the next one, right?
No, this was second reading this evening, so it'll be third reading. So we need to be able to include the language in the council for the amendment.
Oh, committee. of-
Loitering.
Okay.
Friday, November 7th. 7th.
He's saying if we just try to do it this Friday, because it's Wednesday, we wouldn't be able to get public notice out, and it would be very challenging. I would prefer to give us more time. So we could we do?
So we have two dates in play right now. Really, the dates we have in play that we don't have conflicts are Wednesday the 12th and Thursday the 13th, although that Wednesday the 12th or Thursday the 13th.
I'm not available those days,
Neither am I.
either one.
Show of hands, who's available on the 12th?
Do it without me.
At what time?
Like 5 or 6. I would go 6.
That works.
And on the 13th, who's available? Jim, I didn't catch. Are you available on the 12th?
I can be.
Let's do a meeting on Committee of the Whole Wednesday, November 12th at 6 p.m. to discuss ordinance 2025 I believe it's 134, the loitering ordinance. So
So it's
November 12th at 6 p.m. Here. And ask the administration to arrange for that to be live streamed. Other new business. Mayor Mern.
Really just wanted to give a shout out to our police department, Hancock County Sheriff's Office, in partnership with the FBI, conducting a drug raid last week, taking 5 people off the street that were bringing drugs into our community through the U.S. Postal Service. And always really proud, we're fortunate that we have a safe community, but it also is because our teams step up and hold people accountable. And that was a great coordination to be able to continue to do that. And so just wanted to give them a shout out and Obviously, always grateful for their service to our community and pray for their safety. I think that is it. I think we've had enough for tonight. Appreciate everybody's work.
Other new business, and I would just like to close with a mention of the passing of Ginny Clymer, who was a former Findlay City. She served on Findlay City Council and for the longest time as a county commissioner. I had the opportunity while going door to door to knock on Ginny's door, and if you knocked on Ginny's door, it was not a 2-minute conversation. It was more like a 1-hour conversation. And there was one thing you always knew is that Ginny had the best intentions for Findlay, and she loved Findlay dearly and served the community well. And so I just note her passing, and I wish her Godspeed. Other new business for tonight. Take a motion to get out of here. Mr. Palmer, second, Mr. Niemeyer. All in favor of adjournment, please say aye. Aye. And we are adjourned.